All right. So this is a new bait. This is a new chatterbait. Elite EVO. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna just talk about it for a little bit. This is Bama Brim. I couldn't get it in green pumpkin or my other favorite color. This is my this is a slobber knocker, but this is kind of my favorite color. This is like a, I don't even know what you would call it, but I've got it. This is a jackhammer, and I'll compare. I'll let you see the jackhammer, the slobber knocker, the EVO, all kind of together. But they also got a new trailer. And we're gonna put one of these new chatter spikes on here. Well, I take that back. I don't know that the trailer's new. It's new to me because I've never thrown it. But I like the fact that it's made out of that Elastec material. This is the 1/2 ounce. It's my pocket, so don't blow away here. Wire keeper on the skirt. Dual hook keeper. I watched a video, some guy was saying that this thing was a weighted keel, balance the swimming action of the bait or something like that. This is just it's made out of lead, but it's not to balance the bait or anything like that. It's just another style of keeper that I really like, actually. It's a lot of saltwater baits have this style keeper on them, but compared to the original, that's the keeper on the original. It won't keep up nothing, to where you get a spike in there, and for some reason down here in the middle of the bait, these things really keep plastic on good. They put the snap ring style keeper instead of this wire thing. I've heard people say you can improve an original by changing this out to one of these, and I've got one that I did it to, but it's a pain in the butt. And then this was like an original something or other. You know, last time they came out with, like, they come out with new chatterbaits before, and I ain't been into it. I tried the slobber knocker last year, and it's not gonna dethrone the original, I mean the jackhammer. The jackhammer is just bad to the bone. But here's bigger eyes, flatter head. It's got these little gill things right here that look like it would help keep it down. The hook's not as, the hook's very, very similar to the jackhammer. What I'm trying to figure out is, this is the trailer I usually run. This is a KVD or a Strike King. The trailer on the jackhammer is the best I've ever seen. That's my favorite trailer of all time. I mean, a keeper of all time. This is the keeper on the new one. I don't know anything about the temper of the hook and the steel of the hook. I don't get into all that. I've never broken one. The slobber knocker, I don't even remember. Okay, yeah. This is a great keeper. That's the keeper on a slobber knocker. That thing is great. That is a really great style. But these are made out of a hard rubber, so they have to join them like this so that it gets good and it doesn't take away. You don't want to run something like a Kitech or a crawl trailer. It's going to really take away from the action of the bait. So let's run this thing on here. I guess that's up. It's got some It's jointed, but it doesn't need it. This stuff is pretty flexible as it is. But it's still not as loosey-goosey as this. And I like this color better. They make a color called the Deal, and I'll just have to find some. But for just today's purposes, we're gonna run one. The only thing about a Laz-Tech is fighting it, you know, fighting it on the hook. Once it gets on there, you're good. If it ever does get on there. There we go. Maybe. So once you get it on there, it ain't coming off. Let's get it tied up. This is just braid. I went on my chatterbait setup. I went to lighter rod. You know, I went from throwing it on a medium heavy with fluorocarbon to throw it on more like a medium action with braid. I don't know. I also went to a shorter rod. I see these guys throwing like 7'4" rods. I don't know how they're really super accurate with those rods. The big thing is going to be is it going to engage as soon as it hits the water. I want it to immediately start clicking. Sometimes on the old chatterbaits, you gotta like do a little. Nope. I mean, as soon as you click the reel, it's going. So that's kind of like the jackhammer. On the jackhammer, man, as soon as you turn the reel handle, it's going. On some of the original ones, you can let it fall too. Sometimes if you fish it on a fall like that, like a pause, it'll foul the blade up. And it won't start back up. You gotta like snap your rod and stuff like that. But this is like first turn, it's engaged right away. That's good, because I like to vary my retrieve a little bit, you know, stop and start it. But I've even fished them before like a jig, where you're just kind of like pumping the rod. But man, I can hear it clicking whenever it's up here close, and I can feel it just like a jackhammer. If this thing ends up being what I think it's gonna be, I don't know why you would buy the jackhammer. I mean, there's still people that buy Yeti coolers or whatever, or there's still people that pay more money for stuff because it's that mentality of like, oh well, it costs more, you know, it's got to be better, it's got to have better hook steel or something weird like that. But I mean, me personally, unless it turns out like the hooks are just trash, you're setting the hook on fish and they're breaking or something like that. There's some grass out here, it's kind of shallow, but I don't see I don't know. It's like they took a jackhammer and just made it like $6 cheaper. These things are $10. And jackhammers are, I mean, it's clicking like crazy. First turn the handle, it's already engaged. That's just crazy. For the looks of the hook, the head, the paint, the wire on the skirt material, everything, it's just like, did they just kill the market for jackhammers with one swoop? I mean, golly. Some of these other ones, the Stealth Blade, I've got some of them. I don't know, like I said, that Elite Original or whatever, or the Freestyle, or some of the ones they came out with just never seemed to be better than the jackhammer, or to even come close to the jackhammer, like in terms of catching fish. I've had days where I've thrown one around and thought to myself, well, they're just not going to hit a chatterbait today, and before I give up on it, I'll just tie on a jackhammer and be like, well, I'll make a couple casts of jackhammer, and boom, end up going down a section of bank and catching 3 or 4 fish, and thinking like, golly, I just fished down through here with another bladed jig from another company, like a Strike King or something. I've got some of those Strike King ones, Thunder Cricket or something like that. I didn't bring any out here. The skirts on them for me are not worth it. It's got the rubber band keeper around a real sparse skirt. Man, this thing is just, I don't know. I'll have to fish it to see if there's any flaws in it, but right now, like where it stands, it's just, see if it can really get, if you can hear it. This thing is crazy loud. I love that tail action on my little trailer. Anyways, it's man, I don't know, I can't see anything. It looks like it impacts the head. It's not gonna hit the eye. I was wondering about that, if the corners were gonna, where it was chattering, if it was gonna impact the eye of the bait, but it's not. So yeah, here's the slobber knocker. The slobber knocker's got the bar through the head, and it has worn all the paint off. But they do a tie-down skirt, and they do a really good skirt. I like the shape of the blade. People at one time would saying like, oh, the skirt, the blade design on the Strike King makes it fish in grass. Baloney. That thing does not fish in grass. I mean, none of them are great at it, but for sure there's not some magic blade design that fishes in grass. But the blade does seem thicker, but it might just be because it's got that epoxy coating or something. But I like the bigger eyes. It does look like a different hook. It's the same shape, it's a different color. But I don't know. I'm not gonna go throw away all my jackhammers. I still love them. But golly, man, I can buy 3 of these for the same price as 2 jackhammers. So I think they finally made an improvement. All these other ones and everything, man, I'm not really buying it as an improvement. It's different. It's not an improvement. They made a bunch of different chatterbaits. They didn't make anything better. The jackhammer is just been it, man. It's just a ticket. And so they didn't really make anything. I'm throwing this on a 6.3 to 1 SLX XT. This rod is a extra fast, medium heavy, 6.8, but it's got a lot of, it's more like a medium action. It's got a pretty flexible, but you can turn them with it. If you catch one up under a dock, if you like skipping up under there, you can turn them with it, get them out away from the dock and stuff like that. I just like it for spinner baits and chatterbait. That's what this rod is. I just throw spinner baits and chatterbaits on it. But man, I like this and I love this. I'm not gonna buy any more jackhammers for a while, I don't think. If I'm somewhere in a bait shop and I have to choose between getting a Strike King or a Berkley or a jackhammer, because they're all out of EVO, which that's gonna be the problem, is everywhere that sells chatterbaits, they're gonna be out of the EVO and they're gonna have plenty of jackhammers left. So the sales for jackhammer is gonna stay fine, because whenever people can't get these, I think they're gonna grab the jackhammer. But me personally, I'm not getting any more jackhammers. I'm gonna grab every one of these I can. And I don't know, that's my quick and opinionated version of what I think about the new EVO. So anyways, thanks for watching.